Bob's Burgers is full of amazing songs. I wanted this to be a top 10, but it felt like I'd be cutting off some songs that deserve the publicity. This list is just my opinion, of course. Your list is almost definitely different, so be sure to write yours in the comments. Even with 15, it still feels restrictive, but it's what I'm sticking to. Let's get started.
You were at a party, I hope you had a good time.
Linda's singing voice is surprisingly good, especially beyond the early seasons and when they give her instrumentals to work off of. The creepy dude adds a funny element to the song, and who doesn't love Harold? The Bleakening is full of great songs, and this is no exception. It's probably the most catchy to me, though that might be some Linda bias coming through since her and Teddy are my favourite characters.
I hope you find your tree.
When I see you, I fall apart like a zombie.
I tend to be a fan of these types of songs that make fun of typical boy band love songs, where it's clearly a light jab, but it still feels like there's some love behind it. Like with Milo Murphy's Law, or even Turning Red. This is a great in-universe example of those types of songs.
I used to trust my family.
We're sorry, so sorry.
This is not an episode I recommend watching if you're having sickness hallucinations. That said, if you're not, this episode is super fun. There's song too. The song shows how seriously the family messed up, and songs are a great way of expressing emotions.
No amount of slaps can make this right.
Oh no, that's not good.
I guess I'm not the forgiving type.
Twinkling lights shine.
A great way to wrap up one of my favourite episodes in the show, though since the character is completely new, it doesn't have the same emotional impact as if someone like Louise or Bob was singing, but it's still a very fun song. It wraps up the episodes well and just feels so full of pride.
I'm here to tell you that we're alive.
They say Thomas Edison, he's the man to get us into this century.
Gail and Mr. Fishoder aren't two people I would think to pair together, but honestly I want more of them together. I think they could work as a fantastic quirky couple. The deep voice of Mr. Fishoder against the high-pitched voice of Gail is such a nice contrast, and is a treat for your ears while you watch Louise's plan come to fruition. Plus, making a song out of such a dark thing is an interesting choice, but it works well.
I know you're already a wealthy-ish guy, but think of what that condo money could buy. I never thought this is how I would go, here under the pier tied to Mr. Fisho.
Wouldn't be shocked if this is a lot of people's favourite. I remember loving it even more than I do now when I first saw it, but I think some of the newer songs have lowered its ranking for me. Not that it's bad, because it's great. Any song that's made it onto this list is great. I think the show just keeps producing great songs. I love the Bob and Mr. Fishoder bits the most. I get that the song wanted to feel big in scale, but some of the little cameos from side characters felt a little shoehorned, which is why it's not higher on the list. In terms of intensity, this is the highest stakes the franchise had gotten, until the movie anyway.
Oh, nice things are
You
nice.
guys, excuse me. There's no.
Oh, things are bad. Tomatoes and sweet peas and green beans. It's a dream come true.
One of the earlier songs on this list, and it's just so charming and shows the characters' personalities so well. The Linda and Louise side is funny, and the Bob side is just nice. So much of this show is just so comforting and warm feeling, it's ridiculous. Even though Bob being oblivious of his wife and daughter's emotions is frustrating, seeing what Linda and Louise are willing to put up with for Bob is just so sweet.
Happy, crappy.
Happy, 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 happy place. This wedding wedding is my war zone, and I'm the doctor in it. I've got to save their special day, gotta cater it to the limit.
Bob takes way too much responsibility for someone else's wedding, and we get him expressing his thoughts through song, with Linda jumping in partway through. Linda's jumping in is amazing sounding. Bob and Linda just sound so great singing together. The song also works since they both have completely different stances on how they should feel.
I think you've lost your mind on this. I do.
Okay, good question. I'll allow it. Look, I'm not that evil. No, I'm not a bad person.
I know some people probably couldn't understand Grover at the beginning. I couldn't fully upon the first listen, mostly because it took me so off guard and I found it hilarious. But once you understand what he says, it's a really fun song. This is the perfect level of being bad that it becomes good. Then there's the parts of the song that are just flat out good, which is the majority of the song. Villain songs tend to be great, and this is no exception to that.
I want to amend my earlier statement.
Here we go.
I'm not that evil, but I'm feeling evil today.
Bought myself a horse shirt, thought it was pretty cool. I was flying high the day that I walked into the school.
An amazing song for a season final. Tina has had songs before, but it was really nice that this two-parter gave her a chance to show off her vocals, and she's like, surprisingly good. This is really catchy and is a song of desperation and an attempt at justifying revenge. The family has backup vocals, and it's just great hearing Tina's plan in the episode, also accompanied by some very creative visuals.
Cause now we're saying your plan's not so great.
It's really great.
It's not so great.
What if they're right? What if I'm weird and better off wiped?
This is a song of Tina and Bob dealing with their own forms of bullying. Hearing the characters in the show genuinely doubt themselves is honestly sad, because the characters feel so real and likeable. It feels like depression and self-doubt in song form. Tina debating whether or not it's worth her being herself is really sad, and yet the song is still nice to listen to.
I'm ready to give up the fight and just admit that they are right.
I woke up in the night cause I was on a mission to get downstairs and do some mermaid fixing. Her hair was a mess and I knew what to do, but then a rumble in my tummy said I needed to poo.
I woke up from a dream in the middle of the night. I thought of a way to win the gold. Help Mom's sculpture really stand out by making the mermaid explode.
I wanted to fix that ugly mirth thing so we could win the prize. I wasn't expecting the mermaid's crimped hair and sparklers stuck all over everywhere.
Yes, I'm counting all parts in this, as I see them as a collective. The fact the story keeps evolving each time we get a segment of the song makes me so happy. The song makes it an episode I rewatch quite a lot. The kids all take responsibility for what they did, which shows character growth throughout. For Louise in particular, she later tries to hide behind it being Hugo's fault, but I don't think it undermines her confessing when she thought it was mostly her fault.
It's not our fault. It's nice to get to blame someone else.
It's all Hugo's fault.
Every day we come downstairs, unlock the door and turn the sign to open.
This is pretty much how the movie starts, and I knew I'd be in for a good ride as soon as it started playing. God, the animation in this song is gorgeous. It sets up all the characters' motivations for the movie very well. It's a treat for the ears and for the eyes.
We'll hug and kiss and go berserk. I'll take a chance on second guess we're doing great.
He just answers yes. Some lucky ducks get all the luck. Some break their backs to make a buck. And sure, we are a bunch of shady criminalish gents and ladies.
Reminding me of I've Got a Dream from Tangled. Definitely not a bad thing. The song has the ex-criminals singing a song about how terrible their lives are, and despite how depressing the lyrical content can be at times, the dance number and the upbeat tone makes it so fun. Louise comparing being called a baby to them living in fear their boss could kill them at any point and them actually feeling bad for her is so funny. Yeah, the movie songs did really well on this list.
Gonna show him I'm much braver than what you think that I am.
before we get to number 1, I want to throw in a few honourable mentions. A thing I've always loved about Bob's Burgers, and an element it very rarely messes up on, is Bob and Linda's relationship. They're so cute and wholesome together, and excluding the Dr. Yap episode, are probably couple goals. We see what Bob and Linda would be like when without each other for long periods of working, and it's so clear they both help each other so much, and make each other's lives so much better just by being around each other. It's so nice. I really like Louise's singing voice. I don't have too much to say about this one, it's just fast-paced and fun, and shows off the priorities of Louise and how badass she can be. I just like it. Fish Odor is one of my favourite characters, so it's always a joy to see him, and him singing is always great too. I think what enhances this song from being good to great here is Bob doing a reprise of it later in the episode and completely changing the tone of the song to be more emotional.
Bad stuff happens in the bathroom. I'm just glad that it happens in a vacuum. Can't let them see me with my pants down.
I honestly don't think the show can top this song for me. It is everything I love about the show as a package. It has the relationship between Bob and Louise being shown off fully, and their dynamic is my favourite in the show. It's so cute and charming. The song also manages to drag in side characters without feeling forced, with the end credits version of the song feeling like a big celebration of the show, which, the episode it's in, episode 100, was already doing that very well. Also, it's just amazing sounding, like it's ridiculously catchy. I haven't managed to get this out of my head or stop listening to it since I first heard it years ago.
Today is gonna be a great day. Out to Coasters Magazine and blow everyone away.
Anyway, that's my list. What's your list? Tell me in the comments. Please consider liking, subscribing and commenting, as it all really helps out my channel. And until next time, bye, I guess.